a lot of politics is all about selling sometimes euphoria and utopia, however you look at it. How are we progressing? Is it necessary to really keep reinventing the wheel, or do we just modify it altogether?
Thank you very much. One, I would want to correct. Politics is about selling hope, because politics is about collective governance. How do we come together as a society, and you have the citizens donating or voluntarily donating their power to the sovereign, in this case now the so-called government, and the government representing the state. And we should always see from a broader perspective, the state having the three arms, judiciary, executive, legislature, with the expectation that the arms would then act to the wishes, according to the wishes and aspiration of the people. So when you say, how do we do about it? I see governance as a progressive process or a progressive agenda. No country in the world can be said to have had a magic solution to its governance problem. Each country has its has a fair share of challenges, and Kenya is not unique. What I would think would work for us is taking stock, and importantly, learning lessons and then putting in work, because history helps us understand where we are from. Let me use, for example, you talk about tribalism. Tribalism more or less becomes a political mobilization tool. How do we get votes? Because when it comes to political competition, you use whatever works to be able to mobilize people towards a common agenda. And tribal affiliation has been the low-hanging fruit for a long time for our republic. And there's always that cultural aspect that it's nothing wrong being conscious about your heritage, being proud about your heritage, about a mother tongue or a language, or belonging to a people or a cultural group. But again, politically it becomes the basis for mobilization. Then, if that becomes the case, what impact does it have on us? You've seen that that has become the basis for our misrule. It has become the basis of the so-called, for example, things like tyranny of numbers and what have you. How then do we get out of that rut? And that's why I said in 2003, it was our best chance when Kibaki got elected overwhelmingly across the republic. Rarely do we get a chance where a candidate galvanizes a nation around a common agenda. Our elections subsequently has been a case of the same ethnic mobilization, but something beautiful is that a coalition of some sort, or this ethnic mobilization has been then forced into aspects of coalition building. So that yes, if you look at Kenya Kwanza regime in 2022, the coalition bloc was mostly from Rift Valley, Kalenjin, and the Mount Kenya. Those were the bedrock support for the Kenya Kwanza regime. You find the Azimio one had a bloc from, for example, mostly Western. You have Nyanza, you have Ukambani, you have Coast, Asal areas, and for example, Masaini. So you find that we've then moved away from just raw ethnic mobilization. We have evolved into more or less coalition building, but still within the ethnic affiliation in a way. But then there's a silver lining. Post-2022, issues, especially the economic challenges that face the country, has forced people into one corner or into one basket, whereby the commonality of our challenges, the kind of hassle we go through and the pain, that the economic pain Kenyans feel after, of course, the 10 years of a failure of the Jubilee regime, then you have a case of Kenyans slowly but consciously moving away from the ethnic conclaves towards common agenda, to the extent that for us to have successful youth protests, the Gen Z protest that was galvanizing. Were you not concerned that the Gen Z protest was bigger in Eldoret? It was the second biggest after Nairobi, despite it being the bastion of the president. Did you not get concerned that, for example, the overwhelming support and singularity of issues that people are raising, and that's why I say we are in a governance moment, where there's a singularity of issues and opinion, to the point that what galvanizes the people, the republic at the moment, is the common economic problems, the demand for better governance. And you see now the president being forced out to come out away from the traditional presidency, where the president would address people from the high ivory tower, for example, from the house in the hill, from 1 or 2 media sessions. Now he's forced to engage people in town halls. He's forced to engage people on specific issues, whereby every single day, look at the last 3-6 months, the news circles has been one agenda after the other. If you open the dailies, nowadays we are no longer talking about Raila was here, Ruto was here. Look at our today's dailies. Talk about Ruto's new tax laws. Now taxation has become personal. It is something people follow. If you open Daily Nation, then the headline is about 5 Karura forests gone in 6 months. Environmental concern. So we are slowly moving towards mobilization on issues and agenda. That I'm looking forward to the 2027 election. It will be won or lost on performance. It will be won and lost on issues. So when you say, do we overhaul everything? The overhaul is happening organically. And as we speak right now, it is the political elite to wake up and smell the coffee. That the country is moving, and ethnic mobilization will still be a factor, no problem about it, but will not be a major factor. In a 10-year period, then we'll be galvanizing around issues.
All right. Mheshimiwa Kiptoo, before we move to Stanley's set, as part of the cabinet, because he talks about governance and those in leadership to smell the coffee, how much, because in 2002 is only, as he says, 67%, the only time he got such an overwhelming vote, the only time Kenya was ranked very hopeful. What necessitated, how much did you smell